If the hustle and to come type of culture got to you, you know the type of stories where you hear how I made 1 million naira in 2 weeks, how I gained 1 million subscriber in a single month, and you've done your best to recreate those kind of results, those kind of experiences in your life. However, you find yourself struggling, you find yourself moving in circles, you find yourself constantly taking one step forward, 10 steps backwards. I can assure you that you are not alone in that situation. I have been there before, and I'm going to share with you how I was able to transform my life completely in few months. I was able to gain an amazing job in a fintech company, the best spend management platform in Nigeria. I was able to then move forward to prosper my business to the point where I was able to secure a grant that was hand delivered to me by the governor of Lagos State, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu. So guys, this video is not about me, it's about you, and I am here to tell you that regardless of your culture, regardless of your background, regardless of your bank account, and most especially regardless of your age, you too can transform your life completely, and I'm going to show you just how to do it. I can assure you that if you walk this journey with me for the next 6 months, you would not only be able to transform your life completely, but you would be able to assess results and manifestations that you would have never thought possible. This is not just a video for entertainment, so do well to take your notes and your pen, write down these lessons, and begin to practice them. So the first you have to know in this transformation journey is learning to let go. Learning to let go. One of the reasons why you find yourself taking one step forward and 10 steps backwards is because there are things in your life that you have refused to let go of, and those things keep pulling you backwards. And I can assure you that it is essential for you to let go of these things, because if you do not let go of them and you mistakenly get to that point of success where you want to get to, the chances of them pulling you back to ground zero and even worse is high. And like they say, the higher the point of success, the greater the fall. So for you to ensure that you get to a state of success, you get to this point of fulfillment, and you have this constant stability, you have this constant balance in your life, the best way to do that is to ensure that you let go of the things that keep holding you down. You let go of the things that constantly pull you to that ground zero, that constantly pull you to the muddy side of life. I believe you must have heard of those news of celebrities, of people that you would want to consider wealthy in this life, and then you hear that this person just committed, or you just see the person do one self-sabotaging incident to pull their self backwards. The main reason for that is because there are things that were in their life that they refused to let go of. So it is essential that before you even reach that point of success, you let go of these things. And a lot of people aren't able to even reach that point of success. Why? Because those things they're holding on to keep pulling them downwards. So what are these things that are able to pull you downwards? I'm going to summarize it into one word, and that word is called negativity. Negative things. However, it tends to express itself through different things, different scenarios, and different occasions depending on the individual. For some it could be trauma, for some it could be unresolved incidents, unresolved relationships, for some it could be an happening in their life that they had not gained closure from. For some it could be emotions such as bitterness, envy, jealousy, hate, anger. So you want to ensure that whatever it is that is within you that is still unresolved, whatever negativity it is that is holding you down, first of all, we cannot be perfect. There is no point of perfection, and when I say negative things, it doesn't also mean something that you have done wrong. It could also be a wrong that has been done to you. For example, you could be bitter towards someone because of how they ill treated you. You could have felt disenfranchised. You could have just been keeping a lot of hurt, a lot of wounds within your soul. And most times we usually get up by catering for our external wounds. But I can assure you that those wounds that you don't even see, those are the more dangerous ones. Those are the more ones likely to hold you down. And for some people, this negativity could be a mindset. It could be a thought pattern. It could be a belief system. And it could also be a value system. They tend to value and prioritize the wrong thing. Let's say you're a business owner, for example, and instead of reinvesting your profit back into your business, you're spending it away, and then you're wondering why your business is not growing. It could be a thought pattern that you've crafted for yourself growing up. Possibly you grew up in a place where they brainwashed you, or they made you believe that success is only accessible to a certain few, or the people with special abilities or special backgrounds. And now you've grown with that thought, and it has made you create this ceiling, this invisible ceiling for yourself, that you just cannot go past a certain stage. Why? Because you feel that success is not for you. So whatever that limiting belief is, whatever that thing that is drawing you down, and it could also be more than one. It could be a mixture of trauma, it could be a mixture of art, it could be a mixture of emotional baggage, as well as a certain belief system. Well, the point is, whatever it is, you want to make sure you start letting go of it. Before I was able to get to a point of stability, before I was able to reach a point of inner balance, inner peace, I had to let go of those traumas that I had encountered as a child. I had to let go of those belief systems that kept holding me down. They thought that I was not enough, or that I did not deserve the best, or just I had to let go of all of those baggages. I had to let go of all of those thoughts, all of those limiting beliefs, and all of those emotions that were holding me down. And it was not a day's job. It was not a 2 days job. And I can assure you, it wasn't even a 2 weeks job, because it takes a point of soul searching. And it's just something that when you're able to spot one and you're letting that one go, and then before you know, you realize another one is there. And you're like, oh my God, I do this too. And then I have to let this go too. Or it's kind of like a cascade of reaction that once you just started, because your body too, your soul too wants to heal, your mind too wants to heal. So the moment you start that healing process, you just find yourself realizing, being able to spot those things that has been holding you down and being able to let them go. But like I said, it's not going to be a 1 day's journey. And talking of cascade of reaction, this brings us to our second point. The second thing you would have to learn to start doing is to identify your keynote habits. Identify your keynote habit. And what is a keynote habit? A keynote habit is that habit that when you do it, it automatically creates this cascade of event, creates this cascade of habits. If you watched my video where I talked about procrastination, and I told you that procrastination does not work alone. Procrastination comes with its squad. So procrastination in that scenario is an example of a keynote habit. It is a habit that moves alongside certain other habits. So you would find that is why when you see a procrastinator, they usually have certain other bad habits like poor time management. They possibly have a poor sleeping time. We're not talking about procrastination today. So you want to find a keynote habit, but this time it should be a good habit. So let's say you want to reach your body goals, for example. You want to attain this, improve, you want to develop your body in certain ways. One of the things you can do is to identify what your keynote habits could be. For me, it is working out. When I start working out, other kind of habits like eating healthy becomes more deliberate. Naturally, I don't eat junk food, but there's this point where you're not eating junk, or you're not also really eating healthy, or you're not eating enough. Like sometimes I can just forget to eat for a day, and then I remember late at night that I've not eaten. So when I'm working out, I become more conscious of eating. I start to eat on time. I make sure I take my supplements. I also make sure I drink enough water, my recommended daily intake of water. I also begin to sleep healthier, sleep better. So working out for me in that situation is a keynote habit, because just working out alone begins to create this cascade of other healthy habits. So you want to identify your keynote habits. What is that thing that when you do it, you realize that your entire day becomes productive? Is it taking coffee? Is it creating a to-do list for the day? Whatever it is it sleeping well? Maybe when you sleep well, you usually notice that the days you sleep well, you just end up having a very productive day for that day. So what is that thing that you do, and when you do, your day is likely to become productive? You're most likely going to hit your goal for the entire day. So that particular habit is one of your keynote habits. So what you want to do in this journey is to ensure that you maximize, or you completely utilize that keynote habit. So that keynote habit is something that you want to ensure you bring into your everyday. You want to ensure you consciously do it every day, and if possible, do it first thing when you wake up. If it is not sleeping, of course. If it's sleeping, then make sure that your sleep routine is completely on point. If you have to shut down all of your devices, you have to turn off all the lights, whatever it is to make you sleep better, make sure you do sleep well. And if it is not sleeping, if it is taking coffee, ensure you take your coffee constantly. Ensure you, of course, you want to keep it in a healthy range. Thank you. You want to keep it in a healthy range. So whatever it is that your keynote habit is, the first thing you need to do is to identify it. So think of all of those days that you were productive. What did you do? Now you want to repeat that thing every day. And finally, the last thing you want to do is to ensure to maintain focus. Before, focus was just this thing that you have to learn, but in this age of the highest social experiments that man has ever noticed, yes, we are currently specimens for experimentation, because we are exposed to a lot of things that mankind has never been exposed to. And one of the effects of this social experiment is that people find it a lot more difficult to stay focused. So focus is no longer that thing you just have to learn. Focus is now an incredible superpower. If you're able to master focus and utilize it, then you are no longer just human. You are literally a superhuman to be able to utilize focus in this present age. But for you to reach that point of success you want to do, regardless of what field you are in, regardless, even if you're in a gaming field, you have to be focused and make sure you do that game, you play that game every day. If you're in regardless of what field you're in, the artists, the so-called celebrities, whatever it is that you're doing, focus is an essential ingredient to it. Focus is success. If you're focused on something, you are going to ultimately achieve it. That is the kind of ability that God has placed in us, that once we set our hearts, once we set our minds to do something, we get it done. So focus is the ingredient to achieving anything. So you want to make sure you're able to stay focused and committed to your goals on a daily basis. So this is not a situation where you do it today, you do it tomorrow, and then the next time you remember to do it is 2 months later, or the next time you remember to do it is when you see someone achieving something that you were supposed to have achieved as well. So no more distractions. Say no to distractions. And for you to learn to say no to distractions, you have to be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself. Don't stop deceiving yourself. Stop saying, oh, I can stay on my bed and I will still read, or I can do this and I will still be able to do it. If you know that something is distracting you, stay away from it. Exercise your willpower and stay away from all distractions whatsoever it may be. Right? So learn to stay away from distractions, and your goal will be more closer to you than you could have anticipated. We have come to the end of this video and we talked a lot. So the first we mentioned was letting go of baggages, letting go of those things that are holding you down. Thank you, Lord. Something I did not mention is people. People can also serve as a kind of baggages in your life. It could be people that are either influencing you wrongly, or it's not that they're influencing you wrongly, but they're just serving as a distraction to you. They are feeding your weaknesses. Let's say you're a person that loves watching movie, so instead of you doing productive things, you spend your entire day on movies. And then your best friend loves movies too. You guys are going to lead yourselves, I don't want to say straight to hell, because it's not a life and death situation, but either straight to poverty or straight to, procrastination, something like that. So you have to learn, if it's someone really important to you and you don't want to have to let the person go, just talk to the person, tell the person about it, and if possible, introduce this person to also better themselves. Let them also become aware that they too can become a better version of themselves, and they should walk the journey with you. So instead of them serving as a distraction to you, they can then become a support system to you and an accountability partner. But if you do bring their attention to it and they decide that no, they don't want to become the best version of themselves, they're okay being average or being whoever they are, they don't necessarily have to be average, but they're okay the way they are, then you can either distance yourself a bit from the relationship. You don't have to cut it completely, you can just reduce it. If you were used to seeing them every day, you can just reduce it to once in a month, once in a while, once every other day. So learn to let go of baggages and those things. The Bible says, setting aside those who wait and the things that so easily beset you. So you have to let go of all of those things that are holding you back. And the second is to identify your keynote habits. Identify your keynote habits and maximize it. Utilize it to the maximum. So once you identify your keynote habits, make sure you're able to replicate it every day into your life. That way you ensure, that way you create an environment, you create an enablement for productivity. And finally, becoming a superhuman by maximizing your focus. The same enthusiasm, when you listen to successful people talk, you hear them tell you that they tried the 100th time and they maintained the same enthusiasm as they did the first time. That is success for you. You have to be ready to go again and again and again. You have to be ready to go every day. So maximize focus. You can exercise your focus the way you exercise muscle. If you're someone not used to being focused, there's several things you can do. Little things you can do is to simply set an alarm. If you have to set your alarm for every hour, set your alarm for every 3 hours, just for you to, in case maybe your mind has wandered away, you can bring your mind back. So by the time your alarm rings, it brings back your mind to the things you ought to be doing. And just like that, you can start to train your muscle, train your mind to gain focus in what it should be doing. If you go to this point of the video, I want to personally welcome you to this journey of transformation in your life, and I am honored, I am privileged to have to walk this journey with you. If you have questions, if you need a support system, do know that I am here, You Discovery is here, and we have a community of people that are also walking their self-discovery journey, their self-creation journey, their journey into the best version of themselves. So you are not alone in this. I love you, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video. Bye bye.